Hey everyone, welcome to Crimes and Chat. I'm your host Chip Dawson, and I'm here to take you on a deep dive into some of the most chilling true crimes and mind-bending conspiracy theories. Today we're kicking off a chilling new series that's bound to leave you looking over your shoulder, the case of the county line killer. Over the next few episodes, we'll dig into the lives of the victims, the eerie details of the crimes, and the shocking twists that led to the killer's capture.
And I'm Dayle Harris, your co-host and fellow true crime enthusiast. This case is one of the most unsettling we've ever covered. It's about a killer who operated in plain sight, targeting 3 unsuspecting women in small, quiet towns. Each episode will focus on one victim, starting with Amanda Reyes. Her death sent shockwaves through the small community of Maple Ridge and was the first in a string of horrifying crimes. But before we dive in, Chip, how's your week been?
Honestly, chaotic, but in a good way. My dog Milo decided to raid the trash yesterday, so I spent half the night cleaning up spaghetti sauce footprints off the carpet.
Oh no.
How about you?
Poor Milo and poor you. My week's been calmer, thankfully. I finally started that cooking class I've been talking about. Let's just say my souffle didn't exactly souffle.
Hey, practice makes perfect, right? Maybe I'll be lucky enough to try one of your masterpieces soon.
We'll see. Maybe after a few more classes. Anyway, speaking of disasters, let's jump into today's case. Amanda Reyes' story is as heartbreaking as it is terrifying, and it all started in the quiet town of Maple Ridge.
Amanda was only 27 years old, an artist with a love for painting and helping others. Her friends described her as bright and full of life. But in late May of last year, Amanda disappeared without a trace. 2 days later, her body was found near an abandoned barn. What makes Amanda's case so haunting is how ordinary her day had been leading up to her disappearance. She was last seen running errands and stopping at a gas station where things took a strange and tragic turn. And that gas station sighting is crucial. Amanda was seen arguing with a man in a black hoodie. No one recognized him. And to this day, police have been tight-lipped about whether they've identified who he was.
Let's not get too far ahead, Chip. Before we dive into the specifics of that encounter, let's hear the news coverage from the day Amanda's body was discovered.
Good evening. Maple Ridge is reeling tonight after the discovery of 27-year-old Amanda Reyes' body near an abandoned barn. Amanda had been reported missing just 2 days ago, sparking a frantic search by her family and local authorities. Witnesses say she was last seen at a local gas station, appearing visibly upset and engaged in an argument with an unidentified man. The scene at the barn has been described as disturbing, with investigators treating the case as a potential homicide. Authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward as the small community grapples with this shocking tragedy.
Hearing that now, it's still chilling, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, Amanda's case started as a missing persons investigation, but it quickly turned into something much darker. The fact that her body was found near such an isolated location, with no clear evidence pointing to a suspect, only adds to the mystery.
And that barn, it's almost symbolic, isn't it? It's this forgotten place on the edge of town, and yet it became the center of this horrifying discovery.
Let's talk about the crime scene. The barn was abandoned for years, mostly used by local farmers to store equipment. But on that particular morning, it became a nightmare.
Right, a farmer named Henry Whitaker found her body while checking on some old machinery stored inside. He said the moment he walked in, he knew something was wrong.
He described the barn as eerily quiet, with faint sunlight streaming through cracks in the walls. When he saw Amanda's body, he immediately called the police. It's hard to imagine stumbling onto a scene like that.
Police arrived shortly after and cordoned off the area with crime scene tape. Investigators combed through the barn for hours looking for clues. They found little to go on. No weapon, no clear signs of a struggle, and no footprints that might lead them to the killer.
What stood out, though, was the precision of it all. Amanda's body had been placed near a stack of hay bales, almost as if someone wanted her to be found.
That's an unsettling thought. It raises the question of whether the killer wanted attention or if it was some kind of twisted message.
And then there's the gas station argument. Amanda was seen by a clerk and another customer arguing with a man in a black hoodie 2 nights before she went missing.
The details from that sighting are sparse. The clerk said Amanda seemed upset, almost afraid, but he couldn't hear what was being said. The man left first, and Amanda stayed behind for a few more minutes before driving off. Let's hear the statement made by the Maple Ridge Sheriff's Department the day after Amanda's body was found.
Breaking news live!
Good afternoon.
As many of you know, the body of 27-year-old Amanda Reyes was discovered yesterday near an abandoned barn on the outskirts of Maple Ridge. First and foremost, our hearts go out to Amanda's family and friends during this unimaginably difficult time. At this point, we have launched a full-scale investigation into the circumstances surrounding Amanda's death. However, I must emphasize that we are still in the very early stages. To protect the integrity of this case, we are unable to share specific details at this time. We do not have any suspects identified at this point, but I want to reassure the community that every resource is being utilized to bring justice for Amanda. Investigators are actively gathering evidence and interviewing potential witnesses. To the residents of Maple Ridge, we understand your fear and concern. We ask for your patience and trust as we work to uncover the truth. If you have any information that could assist in this investigation, no matter how small, please contact the Sheriff's Department immediately. We'll now take a few questions.
Sheriff, can you confirm how Amanda was killed? Was this a targeted attack, or does the community need to be concerned about their safety?
At this time, we cannot comment on the cause of death or any specific details regarding the nature of the attack. We're doing everything we can to avoid compromising the investigation. Rest assured, if there's a threat to the community, we'll inform the public immediately.
No comment, huh? I get it. They need to protect the case, but it's frustrating.
Absolutely. The Sheriff's Department is clearly keeping their cards close to their chest, but it's hard not to feel frustrated when they're giving so little to the public.
And no suspects at this point? Come on. Someone saw something. Amanda was last seen at a gas station in broad daylight. How's there nothing to go on?
It's baffling. Either the department doesn't have any evidence or they're holding back for strategic reasons. Either way, it leaves us with more questions than answers.
I also found the tone of that statement interesting, asking for trust while not offering much in return. It's like they're trying to keep the community calm. But how can people not be on edge after something like this?
Especially when Amanda was so loved in this town. I mean, she was an artist, a friend, a daughter. People in Maple Ridge knew her, and now they're left wondering if they'll ever find out what really happened.
And that's what makes this case so unsettling. Amanda's murder wasn't just tragic, it was the first in a series of crimes that would haunt this town for months.
It's infuriating how little we know about that interaction. Was this someone she knew? Or was it a random encounter that escalated?
That's the million-dollar question, Dayle. What we do know is that Amanda's life was tragically cut short, and the discovery of her body was just the start of a much larger investigation.
Amanda's case was the first, but it wouldn't be the last. Over the next few months, 2 more women would meet similar fates, sending the community into a state of fear and confusion.
And in our next episode, we'll dive into the story of Lindsay Carter, the county line killer's second victim. Her case added even more chilling layers to this already dark tale.
Thanks for joining us as we explored Amanda Reyes' story.
And as always here on Crimes and Chat, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay safe. See you next week.